information to know. Having an individual enroll by themselves is going to be age 18 minimum or up to age 64. We talked about having the young ones on there. You do have to have the parent or guardian. And let's continue on here to the member hub. Now, this is going to be relevant. And we're going to talk about the ancillary products that are, again, you can do one-off too. So if you happen to, have the light bulb go off and see that maybe your clients are, you have clients that could use maybe just one of these products, we'll see tomorrow that you can do one-off if you want. But it doesn't matter if you do one product or 5 products, they're all going to have access to our member hub. Now, it is a good idea, even though we're going to email them after you send in the policy, information on the member hub. Sometimes it goes into spam or, people may delete it by accident. You know how emails are these days. So what we recommend is as soon as you submit an application, you're going to get a 9-digit ID number for each application you submitted. So we recommend, letting the client know what those numbers are, even though they're going to get it via email. But again, you don't always want to rely on that. This is also going to give you more value as an agent. You want to give them their 9-digit ID number. And then even if something I did not mention, I should have mentioned it, is our policies you can start as soon as the next day or up to 6 months out. Okay, so the start date, I'll show you how to change the date if you have to. It'll default to the earliest available, which is tomorrow, or it can go up to 6 months out, okay, which is fantastic. Now, it doesn't matter what date you chose to start. Client's going to have access 48 hours after you submit the application to the member hub. I'm going to post some videos here of the link to our training videos for the member hub where you can do a lot of things. Let's say somebody forgot to present their card and they need to do a claim. You can do a claim on the member hub. You can make payments, change your payment method, change your address, look up a doctor, etc. So a lot of cool things. So we do recommend that you mention that to your client. Again, we talk about persistency. We talk about providing value to the client. So now especially if you do a benefits package, you tell them, listen, I have this package I created for you. You'll be able to go in 48 hours. Here's your ID number, and you can do all these different things we talked about. Again, that gives you more value to them, and that's going to increase the persistency. And if it is somebody who's self-employed and isn't looking to go to work somewhere anytime soon, there's a good probability these benefits are going to be on the books for a long, long time. So lastly, I want to talk about 2 of our ancillary products that I highly recommend quoting with every single policy. Again, like we said, you can do a la carte, but we do recommend doing 2 policies every single time. That's the Accident Wise and the Critical Guard. Now, these are options that you could go back and present to your ACA clients too. Now, when you go into the portal, and we're going to show that tomorrow, and you put the date of birth and you put the zip code, it's automatically going to populate all the options that we have available for that client or their family. And obviously, you can put one person, the whole family, etc. So you are going to see other accident options. Now, why do I recommend the Accident Wise? One very important reason, the Accident Wise, the premium is what's called a level premium. That is not going to change for the life of the policy, okay? And it's also a great selling point. And these actually have very, very high persistency. It means they're on the books for a long time. Why? And it's almost common sense. But remember, we have the data that backs this up because these are policies that you're not going to probably use tomorrow, right? Like a life insurance, you're going to keep paying it in the event that these things happen. So the accident, having that level premium is a great selling point because if an agent presents it to me and they say, hey, Franco, great, you want to think about it, but in 20 years when you say, hey, I have, more of a likelihood of falling and breaking my hip or something, now it's going to be quoted at that 20-year age, right? Or you're 20 years older. Whereas if you do it today, it's going to quote you at your age today, and that premium is going to stay. So great selling point. This is guaranteed issue. Again, we're not going to go line by benefit. But to give you guys an idea, basically we have the 10, 15, and 20,000 option. So, you're going to want to design this around your client's needs. So if the client is looking to just cover, maybe they're out of pocket expensive with an expensive ACA plan, right? Or maybe, they work outside a lot or something and they want to hire 20,000 or whatever the case may be. You can decide all of these guaranteed issued, all of these level premium, which is a huge selling point. And our ancillary products are also very, very affordable, which you're going to see when we quote out tomorrow. Now, lastly, I want to close it out here talking about the critical guard, critical illness policy. Now, this one is almost a no-brainer. To give you guys an idea, quoting out a 40-year-old male, $5,000 benefit, it's about $3, right? Now, you can go all the way up to $100,000, which is what you're going to want to do, is to go a higher amount if you're doing like income replacement, like we talked about, right? That's why it's important to ask those questions. Do that fact finding with your client. Find out what their budget is, what their needs. Ask them the medical questions. Now, 5 to 10,000 benefit is guaranteed issue. You don't need to worry about it. Now, if you're asking the medical questions on the health plan anyway, you might as well do a higher amount if that meets the client's needs. Give you an idea, a 50-year-old male, you can tell I've been doing this a while, right? 50-year-old male, you're going to be looking at about $20, $30 a month for $50,000 benefit. That's nothing, right? If you think about it, if you're self-employed and your family depends on you, or you depend on you, and you have an aneurysm or a heart attack, you can't work 6-7 months. That 50 grand is going to come in handy. So you're going to want to just keep in mind 5 to 10,000 guaranteed issue. If we go up to 100,000, 10,000 or higher, over 10,000 is going to be asking the medical questions. Now, you're going to see tomorrow in the quoting system, you can opt to just do cancer, just do heart and stroke, but I recommend doing the full suite for a couple different reasons. Number one, you don't know what can happen, right? Number two, we're going to pay per category, right? So, for example, let's say we use that $50,000 as an example. Let's say our client has an aneurysm. We're going to pay $50,000